All right, hey guys, welcome back to the live stream. I'm here with Toria Howard here, who is amazing WIN member extraordinaire. We are back just talking about some of the things that we're doing here at WIN, where we support women entrepreneurs and we support the men who support them as well. We know that there's a movement here. We have a civic duty to make sure that you guys are supporting every woman entrepreneur that walks through your doors and in front of your face. We are the backbone of the economy today. So I just want Toria to introduce herself, and we're going to talk about something she's launching today for the first time that you guys get to support her in. You guys get to know more about who she is and what she's doing in the world to serve people who need her services. So Toria, go ahead and introduce yourself. Let them know who you are and what you do.
Thank you so much, Allegra. I appreciate this time with you and the WIN community for giving me this opportunity. My name is Toria Howard. I am the real estate educator. I educate individuals and families on how to increase their financial IQ in order to invest in themselves with a personal property or investment property. I am a published author now. Okay, I already was. I had two ebooks. One was called Journey to Your Castle, which helps first-time home buyers go from concept to mindset, goal setting, because your mindset has to change all the way to the closing table. And then I have one for homeowners called House Rich and Money Smart, how to turn your home into a wealth building powerhouse. I am a speaker. I have videos on YouTube. I have a YouTube channel called Toria RE Educator. Definitely go out and subscribe if you want some complimentary education on either being a homeowner or if you are already a homeowner. And yes, I am putting out my book called Keys to Your Castle, which is the mama of those two ebooks. So I am excited to do that because I've been holding on to this for 2 years. So here it is.
So that's serious. That means that you've been pulling and going through the motions, making sure that you don't give up on this thing. I've been a little bit of a side witness to this in the community, right? Our morning rooms where I know you set your intentions. What were some of the most difficult parts of this? Why did it take you so long?
Well, Allegra, it was more or less that that dangerous procrastination. Procrastination, like I started writing this in 2024 when I first moved back to Detroit. And this is the second book I actually wrote because I wrote my other book before this one. But I wanted to put this one out because I know how important it is to get the education out there, because so many people ask me, how do I do this? How do I buy a home? Because they have all these first time home buyer classes, but it's just very, watered down to the point where it's just talks about, this is this, this is this, this is this. This doesn't give, they don't give a personal roadmap. So I wanted to create something where somebody can take this, have make their own path to their keys, which is the name of my curriculum as well, Pathway to Your Keys. So I created this because I understand that people learn at their own pace. They need something that is easy to understand. And people are getting back into, wanting to learn financial literacy. And at first it was too procrastination, but it was also being ashamed of my story. I was once a homeowner. And I didn't lose my home because I was irresponsible. I lost it because I didn't know what to do after I got my keys. I ended up losing my home in a short sale. I bought a 4-bedroom, 2.5-bathroom home in Memphis, 2,700 square feet for $150,000. And you talking about that now? You just don't even understand like how hurt I was once I understood how real estate worked and how they appreciated it and where I bought. I fumbled almost a $200,000 bag. So I am so passionate about this because I don't want other people to have to learn that hard money lesson, because hard money lessons are the toughest, especially in this economy. So it was part procrastination and part being ashamed, but I'm not ashamed anymore because my detour that I had to take is somebody's, road they need help navigating. So Here it is.
Sorry, guys, I'm just sharing this on Facebook and LinkedIn and YouTube. So, you guys, if you're out there, share this as well, especially if you're a member of the WIN community. I think this is such a pivotal moment for everyone, especially for you, Toria, as you've seen the WIN in its early stages and you've seen us grow together and actually witness the ascension, the success, the wins every day. And thank you for sharing your challenges, because procrastination, I don't think, is something that no one experiences. We all procrastinate at some point in time. I think it's a protection, right? It's like, oh, like there's so many things. There's like that, oh, I got to be perfect, so I'm going to wait. Or, I'm just not sure. And I just, whatever that looks like. So I think that's an encouragement, because it doesn't mean that you'll never get there. It just means that you have to find that way. So, what really got you to the point where you said, you know what, I procrastinated long enough, let's do this?
So when I was doing my plan for, I completed my business plan in November of 2025. I already knew that I was going to launch my book. My plan was to launch all three of them this year. And I wanted to launch my first one in the first quarter. And when you brought up being a speaker at the conference, which actually happened in like October, I really didn't think about, I was going to launch it in January, but then I got the thought like, I'm going to be a speaker on stage. Then let me launch it, then. So I could have just launched it in January like I was supposed to. But, I just wanted to take that time. I think it was more or less like nobody's going to want to buy it. What if this and what if that? I really didn't know, what to do. I just knew that I was going to put this out because I've been holding on to this for so long. So I had been incubating and, preparing myself for this moment, because I know this information is so needed. And being a speaker, it just made me say, hey, I need to go. I'm about to be on this stage. I need to put my book. I need to have something to give, somebody. Well, not give, but I need to have something to, for the people, so they can see, what this really means to me. So, and it's not even about me. It's about me educating as many people as possible. As an educator in real life, like my name is Toria Re Educator, real estate educator, but I've been a teacher since 2004. I've been teaching in the classroom since 2004, and I have a joy of transforming minds. I have the joy of having that light bulb turn on. It brings me joy to change people's minds. I've changed a lot of people into knowing and understanding that I can be a homeowner when they never thought they could. So, I really learned that back in 2022 when I did an interview on a podcast, and I spoke with the host, and she was like, I'm never going to buy a house, this and that. And after our podcast interview, I was able to transform her mind and think about credit in a whole different way. Because she's like, I buy everything with cash, I don't know this and that. But I made her see how credit can be used in a whole totally different way. And she became a homeowner a year later when she never thought she could. So that made me feel like, okay, I need to not just, coach individuals, but I need to put something out there so that I can transform people around this country, because I am a licensed real estate agent in the beautiful city of Detroit and the surrounding areas, but I want to make sure that I'm transforming individuals and minds and families to understand that buying a home is, you know, it can happen, but you just need the proper education. Are you speaking? Oh.
For some reason, it wouldn't let me unmute. So I'm like, what's going on? So yeah, so I love that, because I think that what you said about people don't think that they can actually buy a home, I think that that encompasses a lot of different scenarios, right? Like it's not just
Yes.
one reason. Um, Now, I do want to say this because home ownership is ownership. In the country we live in today, you are better off being an owner than a renter from a financial standpoint, from what I understand. Is that true, Toria?
Yes and no. And I'm gonna be real about it. It just all depends on your lifestyle
Mm-hmm.
because a lot of people need to rent because it's easier and convenient for their lifestyle. That's that's totally true. But if you're just being a renter because that's all you think you can be, and you don't have any other factors outside of that. So you have people that are like traveling nurses or, travel a whole lot. They might not want to or have the time to like spend it. They're going to have a forever home because they're always moving and they got to have places and different. That's something different. But if you have the mindset of, I'm just going to rent because I don't know no other way, and that's it, then that's the people that I'm talking to. And ownership is better because your rent is going to continuously to increase, but your mortgage can decrease. And it's a lot of people out there with a lot of noise saying, don't own a home. It's a liability. Yes, it is a liability, but so is your car. So it's walking out your door every day. So it's having a bank account. So it's all these other factors in our house, in our lives. But everybody that's spewing that is own a home. They own real estate. So you have to do it for you and what's best for you and build. That's how you build generational wealth. I know John Hope Bryant speaks about it every single time. You know, you have to establish that ownership by owning your own home. Because if you don't own your own home, how are you going to buy an investment property? You won't even know how to take care of one. So those people that are like, okay, don't buy a single family home, buy an apartment building. Well, I live in an apartment, but I don't know how to take care of one. It's so many factors that come in. But if you have a financial plan and you connect with people that's going to guide you and assist you along the way, it's for you. If you have where you want to establish yourself and use it as leverage, real estate is leverage. Real estate is used to make you can turn your liability into an asset by using the equity from your home. You don't know what equity is. It's basically what you owe versus what your home is worth. That's the gap. You can use that to invest in other businesses, another home, all these different things. But when you buy a home, you have to think like an investor because you need to know what your end game is. If it's your forever home, okay, so what are the strategies that I can do in order to turn this into an asset? You can use your home to invest in other businesses. Some people use it to invest in the stock market, pay for college tuition for their families. So it's another avenue. People rent out their basements, their rooms, and different things like that. That's another stream of income. And even if you're a person that travels a lot, you can turn your home into a short-term rental. It's traveling nurses out here, corporations that rent homes, students, whatever the case may be. It's so many different things that you can do with something that you own to make money from it than just living in it. See, my problem was I just lived in my house. I didn't take care of it. I didn't have a financial plan. I didn't have an emergency fund. None of the things that I'm telling everybody else to do, I did not do. So by getting the education, you'll understand how you can use your own home, as leverage. And that's what it's all about.
I think what you're saying is it's not about the information, it's about the action and
Right.
implementing things that you have learned works. I love that because honestly, like that's really all it is. And you said something in the earlier step by step of what you teach and what you help people do, not just giving them information, but allowing them to really see how that information works in their lives. So if you
Absolutely.
have a step by step, like for anyone who's starting a business and they need a step by step, it's not going to be, hey guys, go out and look for the house. Hey, I think that what you're saying, and you can tell me if I'm wrong, I think what you're saying is that you're making it clear for why they need to buy a home and how to sustain that home over time, not just live in it, but actually create an
Yes.
investment out of that home. And I think that conversation is very specific, because if you, especially as a woman in business, and to where I've called you and I've said, hey, how do I look at this as an investment? How do I look at the business and put it into real estate? How do I become an owner and not just a renter of my own stuff? Because we live in a country where, thank God, we still have 50% of us as a middle class. But we now have people opening more businesses, and they're doing a lot of new things that require ownership, not just renting. It's a
Yes.
mindset. So tell me about that mindset. What has to happen for someone to get in the right mindset so that they're not thinking about, okay, yeah, I've rented my whole life, or I like renting, not just because it suits my lifestyle, but because I'm comfortable. How do you get them out of the mindset of renting into ownership?
Well, the first and foremost thing you have to do is understand your relationship with money. So, are you a spender? Are you a hoarder? You don't know what to do? So you have to establish your relationship with money. Once you establish your relationship with money, then you figure out, how do I turn my money into a vehicle? And there are multiple ways to do so. People invest in real estate, people buy stocks, people are buying crypto, people invest in companies, venture capitals, all different types of things. So you have to understand how money works in order for you. It's the financial literacy piece of it all. And one of the biggest investments that most millionaires, multimillionaires, even six-figure people do is real estate. That's one of the largest asset class is real estate. And once you understand how it works and how you can leverage it, so for instance, um, you buy a home. Okay, it's your starter home, because a lot of people don't like the word starter home, but that's just what it is. You don't have to stay in the same house, but learn how to do something with where you are first to learn how to get to the mansion. You don't have to just buy one house and that's it. You can buy a house every year, every 2 years, every 3 years if you keep your credit together. It's up to you. You can have one house here around the block next door, whatever you want to do, as long as you understand how it works. So you have to start from where you are. So when you start with your home, your own home, you say, okay, what is my strategy? What is my exit strategy? What is the appreciation value of this neighborhood? Typically, your appreciation value, meaning the how your home is going to increase in value year on year. The national average is 1.5%. I mean, 1 to 5%. But you have certain areas in certain cities that are moving 7 to 20% year on year average. So if you're buying, say for instance, if you're buying in Detroit, you want to buy in the up and coming area. We have something called the Joe Louis Greenway. You want to buy along that Joe Louis Greenway because those properties are going to increase in value. It could be, the smaller homes or whatever the case may be. But you stay in there. And Joe Louis Greenway is going to be done in 2027. It was going to be 2030. So once 2027 hit, between 2027 and 2030, your property is going to increase between 7 to 20%, depending on where it is. So guess what you can do? You can pay down your mortgage. You can stay in the house for 4 or 5 years or whatever the case may be. Well, actually, it'll be 4 years if you stay to 2030. Your property has increased, and guess what you can do? You can sell that property. And my light died. You can sell that property, for more than what you bought it for, and it's going to increase in value. So, say for instance, if you bought a house for 130,000, and you getting that year on year appreciation, your house probably going to be worth, 200 or 250,000. Guess what? If you paid your mortgage like you supposed to, then your mortgage is lower than that 150. So you could probably profit $100,000. And guess what you can do with $100,000 if you decide to sell it? Go and have a substantial amount of money to go put on that next home that you want. Or take the equity from that home and buy an investment property, because your equity probably then got you 200,000. So you have to understand where you're buying, your exit strategy, how much can your house rent for if you want to rent it out. If you want to take that home and keep it using your equity to buy the other house, then how much can it rent for? How much can it short-term rental for? How much can I sell it for? You should be knowing all of these numbers before you even purchase the house. Those are the type of things that you need to be asking yourself when you're looking at houses. How can this increase in value for me to leverage to go to the next level? Whether you go keep that as a rental, as a starter home, you go keep that as a rental and use it to buy another house, or you gonna sell it outright to help buy another house. However that is, you always have to think of your exit strategy. If it's gonna be your forever home, okay, what can I do to add value to my home? Kitchens, people, even people that don't like to cook, want a good kitchen. Kitchens, if you update your kitchen and do great things with your kitchen and all of that, kitchens can give you 50 to 70% ROI. So that means once you redo your kitchen, you call your mortgage company and say, hey, I redid my kitchen, I did this, I did my energy efficiency, I did this, and that. And they're going to give you another number, and your house is going to increase in value. So that means when your house increases in value and your mortgage continuously to decrease, you have more money to use to do other things with. So it doesn't matter if you're going to keep it or sell it or whatever you're going to, whatever you're going to do. There's always leverage. There's always a plan. You should always know your numbers and your exit strategy.
I love that. So we're gonna kind of like tone it down for those people who are really intrigued by this conversation, who's really in this place of, I really want a home. I want something that I can either invest in or live in forever with my family. I want to really, put time into this. I believe this is the angle because honestly, I don't think everyone wants to have a house. This is
Yeah.
just my opinion. I think that a lot of people just kind of are in a mindset where renting is okay forever. There's nothing wrong with that. But I think for example, I'm as a business owner, as a woman in business, and I'll be very transparent with y'all and Utoria. I feel like ownership is necessary. I feel like in order to be able to, kind of escalate in the world of limitations when it comes down to some of the things that we get access to, I think that having that ownership gives you power, control. It gives you a deeper level of identity, that not self-worth, but just by looking at how you value add to your life. And I love that because especially as women are at the forefront of business. And this is something that I'm talking with my community members about for those of you who are listening on a replay. And Tori, I'm glad that you've stuck it out. I'm glad that you have really like put into the civic duty of I'm going to support women to really get their businesses to the point where they understand mentally that they have to be taught how to own and not rent. Because we know how to rent. We know how to borrow. We know how to spend. And one of the other things I'll mention before we have our final words is that, I think money is really a very sensitive topic. And it
It
still is,
is.
even though it shouldn't be. Like 47% of women right now are starting and growing businesses in the economy, which is almost half of the economy. Business is the backbone of the capitalist system. And if we are at the forefront of that and growing, because we're doing it fast, we're not just like, hey, we got some business. No, we're still constantly growing. We're leaving jobs. We're starting the business. We're building on that. If we're going to be successful, I think switching the mindset around money sooner than later is going to be so important for this economy, not just for women entrepreneurs. I would like to hear your thoughts on that because from a money standpoint, I know that numbers don't lie. What do you feel women are people that are looking for homes? Because I know we're women into networking, but let's just talk about people in general. When you're looking in this area of buying a home, versus renting, what kind of things do you want people to start thinking about when it comes to the changes in the economy?
I want you to start looking around you. I want you to open up your eyes and see the things that you cannot see that's right in front of you. because a lot of people are oblivious to what is going on in these cities. Atlanta has already done it, and a lot of people are following the blueprint of Atlanta by building these spaces where they're pricing people out. They're buying back the hood from people in so many different areas, especially those areas where a lot of, our people had transitioned from the South up north. You have a lot of construction and things and revitalization, and you want to call it gentrification, going on in Milwaukee. It's not just here. Chicago has seen it. We're seeing it in Detroit. Cleveland is seeing it. Indianapolis is seeing it. North Carolina is seeing it. Raleigh, Charlotte, those areas are seeing the growth of real estate and how it really is expanding. And you just have to be able to understand that the whole point is to price you out and make you become, might be insensitive to some, a slave to your money, where you're going to be striving to try to keep something that's not even yours, because the landlord can pull the rug from under you. They can sell the house and say, oh, you got to move. Then what? Now you scrambling to find another house or whatever the case may be. But the foundation of it is, a lot of times we choose not to face what really is going on, which is our finances. There are over 11 million people, almost 12 million people, who have a 580 credit score or lower around this country, and it's growing. Credit card debt is in the billions, almost trillions. And if we don't get a handle on wanting to be entertained more than we want to see our money work and move and then get the entertainment, like, we like to be entertained. It's not just, us. Everybody like to be entertained. It's a distraction mechanism on how things are moving and working in our economy. Our money system is about to change. That's why crypto is becoming huge. Our city of Detroit, you can pay your city taxes with crypto right now. Electronic currency is on its way. They are wanting to track everything that we spend, where it's going, who we doing it, what we doing it, where we buying, from whatever it is. They already doing that from like a statistical standpoint, from like retail data, but they're trying to get into our bank accounts at this point. So at a certain point, they're going to be blocking people from ownership on so many different levels. So you have to understand and follow the money and see what's going on. If you see landmarks and different things going up in around your neighborhood, then you know it's coming there. Don't sell grandma house. Don't sell mama house. They work hard for you to have it, but a lot of times we take advantage of that and just live in it and don't do nothing with it, and then want to sell it once it's run down. And then you have to sell it for way less than it's worth to somebody who's gonna flip it and make $100,000 to $200,000 off of it.
Okay, now we're talking about generational wealth, because I totally agree with you. We're gonna have to have a whole nother volume of a conversation around that,
Yeah.
because we still, and I'll just be transparent again. I'm having conversations right now telling people in my family, why would you even think about selling that home? You've been in it for over 20 years. You've done the work, you paid it, all you got to do is pay on the taxes, and that's it. Like, you would, what? So it's a mindset, I believe, that needs to be shifted. And I don't think that we've fully shifted yet, but I do like the fact that you're teaching this, Toria. How can they reach you? How can they get more support from what you do to help them get to this level of understanding?
Well, you can reach out to me on all social media platforms. I'm everywhere. IG, I'm Toria RE Educator. That's my YouTube as well. Facebook is my name, Toria D. Burton Howard. You can reach out to me on there. I'm on TikTok. I'm on LinkedIn. You can reach out to me somewhere everywhere. This right here Okay? This right here is giving you all the tools that you need to be successful in home ownership. I made it in a workbook style for a reason, so that you can write in it, highlight it, do whatever you need to do with it, passing along to somebody else or whatever. But this is the reason why I did this, because of the hard money lesson that I had to learn. Ownership isn't hard. They make it seem like it's hard, but it's really not if you have a financial plan. We have a plan for everything else. We make New Year's resolutions. We have a plan to find a job. We have a plan to go on vacation. But what is the plan? Financial plan to sustain where you live. Your home, you should be running your life like a Fortune 500 company. Everybody should have, you know, some type of role, CFO, COO, all of the things. So making sure that you are running your life with a financial strategy, budgeting, credit strategy, long-term planning, emergency funds, all of the things have to be included. And I teach people this and how to, incorporate that and put that together in this book right here. But you can find me everywhere.
Love it. I put the link up, guys, and this is really what we love to do. We love to give you guys a chance to support not only the women entrepreneurs in our community. Toria Howard has been here from the get. I mean, I'm talking about from the beginning, when the idea was pretty much almost just thrown out there for a win, and now we're winning together every single day. I do want to thank Toria also for coming on. We were supposed to be at the conference today, tomorrow. She was supposed to be standing on that stage talking about this book launch, but we do have to postpone that. But we still get to give her an opportunity to reach you guys in a virtual setting. We will also be putting up a wonderful backstage presence so that we can celebrate you, Toria, for all the things that you've accomplished. Anything you would like to leave people with outside of just grabbing this book? Because number one, you guys, information is all around you. But you do have Toria as a backup for when you get done reading that book or going through areas in that book that you feel confused about, a little lost, you have some questions. Toria is literally on every social media channel, and you just have to DM her or reach out to her directly. She's such an open door. I would love to see if you have anything else you would like to leave them with, Toria, before we get out of here.
I just want to say, start from where you are. You don't have to erase your past to move forward. You just have to ask yourself, where am I now, and what is one step that I can do to move forward? You only need one step, and allow God to order the rest. He wants us to take one step at least. And then guess what? He's going to open doors that no man can shut. And it's going to be for you because you're walking in alignment and in your purpose. So make sure that you're understanding it's not even just about money and real estate. You want to walk in alignment with what God has for you, because it's all over the Bible where abundance is what he wants us to have. Mm-hmm. But we have to be good stewards of it. And that's one of the lessons I had to learn.
Yeah.
Being a good steward.
I love that. Well, thank you for that final takeaway. Guys, make sure that you catch this replay as we re-air it all throughout the year. I want you guys to get to know more about Toria. Thank you again, Toria, for everything you do for us in the WIN. And thank you for being such an amazing, amazing woman entrepreneur. Love you, sis. We will see you guys later. We'll see you guys later in another live stream. But if you join us in the WIN community, we will see you in some of our most safe private spaces so that you can win with us too. Y'all have an amazing night.